This is One on One. For the first time with us here on One on One, we have Carlos M. Rodriguez, who is president and CEO of the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. How you doing, Carlos?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
A quick description of your extraordinary organization.
So the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, over 40 years of fighting hunger. But the interesting thing is that we don't do it alone, and we don't just do it by providing food. We work with an army of partners, volunteers across a number of different sectors, because that's what you need to do when you need to reach just nearly 1 million New Jerseyans who are in need.
Talk about the hunger issue. How bad is the situation today?
You know, so it's not getting any better. The economy is. No, the economy is, but people are still being left behind. And so here's the big misconception that'll put everything in perspective. Many of the families that we're serving have at least one person working. But with jobs coming in and not being enough to meet the expenses, especially here in New Jersey, you have a lot of families who struggle to make ends meet. So on top of that, you have a growing number of seniors who can't afford to live in New Jersey or find it hard to live in New Jersey, and you have children who are having a hard time developmentally and learning because, again, if there's not enough food on the table, you can't be a good worker, you can't have an active and healthy lifestyle when you're older, and you certainly cannot grow and learn the way you should and could.
Carlos, as we put the website of your organization, we've collaborated before, we've done public awareness together with you and your colleagues about the issues you're talking about. As we put the website up, people say, because I've been to your location, pretty extraordinary. Describe what is there, because it is extraordinary.
Well, when you think about the problem of hunger and it reaching and touching close to 1 million people, and you walk into our facility and you see...
Describe it.
5 football fields big. Not just our facility in Hillside, but also our southern branch down in Atlantic County. Then you start really putting your arms around the problem and the opportunity to help. Because hunger in New Jersey, in America, very solvable. Very solvable.
Why do you say that?
Because we don't have a lack of food in our communities. We have a lack of access to that food. Think about it.
Give us an example.
New Jersey is the Garden State. Literally because so much food, so much great produce is produced here, but also because it's really a hub for how a lot of food travels to the surrounding areas, whether it's up north or down south. It's a great hub for actual food. And so it's here. What we don't have is families' ability to connect it with that food, and the barrier sometimes is financial. Most of the time is financial.
It is. It's a money. Let me try this. Let me switch gears. What can people do? Again, as people look at the website, they go on, they go, hey, listen, they're doing really good things. What can someone do?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do is understand who's hungry and why, because it really frames the issue differently. When you realize that it's your neighbor in need, a working family that could easily be anyone you know, then the problem becomes a lot more real and you can really connect with it. And then the solutions become very simple. At the food bank, at Community Food Bank of New Jersey, you can volunteer your time, your treasure, but more importantly, first and foremost, your voice. Help spread the word that it's nearly 1 million New Jerseyans that are in need, and that being a part of the solution is something that everyone can engage in.
Are there policy decisions, Carlos, being made federal level, state level, that directly impact the population you're talking about, which would only exacerbate the hunger problem?
There are. So right now being debated in Congress is the Farm Bill. And among many different things, it's the reauthorization of the SNAP program.
SNAP,
We formerly know it as food stamps.
SNAP stands for?
Supplemental
Nutrition
Assistance Program.
Got it.
And so...
Federally funded.
Federally funded. It's important to the work that we do because it puts puts money in the hands of working families and allows them to buy food the way you and I buy food. More importantly, for every meal that the Community Food Bank provides, and by the way, we provided enough food for 47 million meals last year. Every SNAP provides 12 meals. 12 meals. So if you chip away at that program for many families that are not receiving it or currently receiving it, the private sector, Community Food Bank, cannot step in and fill in the gap.
You know, people talk about the corporate community. Banks like, I know, Valley national and organizations like ADP, Horizon, others. And there are many others. You can look on the website we put up for the Community Food Bank. You could not do what you do without corporate, dare I call it philanthropy or social investment?
I think it's being a good corporate citizen. It's making sure that when you talk at Community Food Bank, we can have a conversation with you about workforce development. We can have a conversation around education. We can have a conversation around nutrition education, because all of those things are key components that can be facilitated by putting food on the table. And so you're right. I mean, the private sector has an invested interest in making sure that we have a strong workforce, that we have a well-educated workforce, none of which happens without good nutrition.
Now, you talk about the workforce development piece. The initiative that I want to talk about here, our friend Josh Weston, a great friend of public broadcasting, told me about this. We're having breakfast a couple of years ago. He said, Steve, you need to find out about the Food Service Training Academy, which you guys run. It's a 15-week program.
15-week program for folks looking for their first success or a restart or another success in life. They come in, they not only learn culinary skills, but they also learn life skills. Because you can be the best chef in the world, but you need to know how to get to work on time and work and know how to work in a work environment. And so 15 weeks, then they get job training and job placement.
Talk about the placement. Where?
So the placement, so we have a tremendous family of food partners. Restaurants, institutional facilities, places like Rutgers College,
Right.
Rutgers University, NJ Pack, Nico's.
Right. Nico's, what a great restaurant.
Any place that's a partner of the Community Food Bank is a potential employer of one of our graduates. But here's the best part. Not only are they doing well for themselves and their families, as they're learning, they're helping to produce meals for children. And so children's in low-income communities. So it's really a wonderful 360 of an experience.
Yeah. Real quick, before I let you go, you've often said, think beyond hunger. 30 seconds, go.
Think beyond hunger. So it's workforce development, it's education, it's making sure that families, as they fall on hard times, don't lose sight of nutritional and how to make the best nutritional decisions with the food that they can. And very quickly, we're very excited to be working with the state of New Jersey, Department of Human Services, and Department of Health to be relaunching the SNAP Ed program, which helps us do exactly that. Make sure that families have the tools to make good nutritional decisions, behavioral changes, and help the community make sure there's good food available as well.
Our friend Carlos Rodriguez is president and CEO of Community Food Bank of New Jersey, making a difference in the lives of so many people every day. Kathleen DeChara, who was the leader of the organization for so long, taught us so much, and the organization's in good hands, my friend.
Still teaching us. Thank you.
Oh, she teaches all of us. Thank you. Appreciate it, Carlos. Stay right there. We'll be right back with One-on-One right after this.